Hello. So pleased to be here. And my name's Jo Douglas. Thank you, Charlotte, for inviting me to be the menopause expert in your membership. Makes me so humble. And I hope I can, or I know I can help a lot of you ladies who are in here, whether you're pre-menopause, perimenopause, menopause, or post-menopause. There's something you can learn, something we can do to help you glide through this stage rather than, I like to say thrive rather than survive. So I'm going to start at the basics. This training is going to be short and sweet, but we're going to cover basically what is menopause. What exactly is menopause? Because believe it or not, so many ladies don't know, or they think they know, like myself included in my late 30s. I thought menopause was something 50-odd-year-old women go through. Your period stops, you might get a few hot flushes, and then that's it. But I think it's more talked about these days, but still not as much as it should be. And there still are women out there who have no idea that perimenopause exists. And perimenopause can last, sorry to tell you ladies, but a good 10 years. I think my perimenopause lasted from, I had symptoms at 38, but at 38 I didn't know that they were perimenopause symptoms. I had my second child at 40, and then I didn't get my menopause until I was 51. Now I'm now 55 and post-menopause. So we'll start at the beginning. So biological organisms are always changing. So we can think of menopause as simply another normal or dynamic stage of life. It's not an illness. It's not a disease. It's a transition, like from when you don't have a period to start your period. Puberty is the transition. It's puberty backwards. That's how I like to think of it. It's clinically confirmed on one single day. I'll explain that later. But it's actually a progress of different stages throughout your life. So basically, as a girl emerges from childhood and she reaches puberty, they usually start the menstruation. It can be at any age. I started at 11. Well, these days they're starting younger than that, up to 16, 17, 18, any time through there. When you start your period, it's known as menarche, which is a funny word because when I say the word menarche, it makes me think of when you see some teenagers rushing around, what's going on here? What's this menarche? I don't know. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's where it came from, puberty. If you know, let me know if you know that saying, if you've heard that saying, if it comes from that. Anyway, in biological terms, this phase is after the menstrual period. Once you start after the menstrual period, you're in pre-menopause or the reproductive age. So anything before menopause, pre-menopause, reproductive age, where women are reproductive. You can have a child in this period or not. Unfortunately, some women can't. Some women choose not to. But that's the stage from when you start a new period up to perimenopause, called premenopause, reproductive age. And from this point forward, menstruation is regular periods. You have, your usual PMS with it. Some ladies aren't so regular, but in general, I'm going to generalize here because every woman is unique. Every woman is different. Every woman has a different period. Every woman has a different menopause. But in general terms, you have a regular period through reproductive age until you hit peri. So what does perimenopause mean and when does that happen? On average, this is average, 45-ish. But I know, since I've been a menopause mentor, I know that it can happen, and because it happened to me, late 30s. And the problem is when you go to the doctors in your late 30s, early 40s, if you mention perimenopause, they just laugh at you and send you on your way. Or they say a little bit more understanding doctor might give you a blood test, which is no good, because if you're having a good day on the day of your appointment and your hormones aren't fluctuating, then your blood test is going to show normal. They're going to say, no, you're fine, you're not perimenopausal. But then tomorrow might be a day when your hormones are all over the place, and then you'll show that you are. So blood tests aren't reliable unless you have a few of them over different periods of time. Then you might be able to detect it. So the best way of detecting whether you're perimenopausal or not is by having a list of symptoms that I've got for you that I'm going to give to Charlotte. She'll share in the membership. And you look at the symptoms and you go, oh, don't have any of those. I'm not perimenopausal. Ooh, I get some of those. And then there's a tracker, and then you can tick the ones you get, and then how often you get them, when you get them. You can see probably you'll be able to see in your cycle. It might be the same time in your cycle every month. Might be the end of your cycle. And there's lots of different symptoms. Many people think, like I said, hot flushes and irregular periods, but generally hot flushes and irregular periods don't start happening until towards the end of perimenopause, when you're coming closer to menopause. So that's why a lot of women don't realize. So things like anxiety, low mood, so you think you're depressed when you're not really, you just got low mood because your hormones. Can't sleep properly, headaches, sore joints, fatigue, just irritability, brain fog. The list goes on. There's a lot. Vertigo. I got really bad vertigo when I was perimenopausal, and the doctors were baffled. They're like, "We have no idea what's wrong with you." My sinuses were fine. Everything was fine. I had no stress in my life. It was perimenopause. And by the way, stress can make all these symptoms worse. Well, there's lots of things that make your symptoms worse, and that's why I'm here. There's lots of things we can do to make your symptoms better. You'll be pleased to hear. So that's the best way to track them. And then when you do go to the doctors, and when you do mention perimenopause and you're in your late 30s or early 40s, and they start to say, you're too young, you go, look, you say you've got a coach, a menopause mentor who gave you this tracker and you've been tracking, and it will be obvious that you are, and then they have to start listening to you. So that's perimenopause. So your hormones will start to fluctuate. You can still fall pregnant, like I said, because I did, and you're still fertile until menopause hits. So what's menopause? When I said menopause is one day, what I meant by that is you have to go a whole 12 months with no period to then class as menopause. So when you say I'm going through the menopause, you don't actually know if you're going through the menopause. What we should say is I'm perimenopausal, because you don't know until you hit that 12 months. So you could go 10 months without a period and then think, okay, this is a menopause, but then start bleeding again, which is really annoying. You think, oh no, that's it, no more periods. But then boom, they come back. And generally, which a lot of women don't know, your periods get heavier and longer before they get lighter and less frequent. Yeah, because I had regular periods, really light periods, and one of the things that was a real shock to me was to have heavy bleeding, and like, you don't want to go out anywhere because you're worried about leaking, like thick towels in bed. I mean, tampons were just waste of time, so that does happen, and that happens before it gets lighter. It gets heavier before it gets lighter, because a lot of women think, oh, it gets lighter and lighter, lighter till it stops. It doesn't work that way. So yeah, so back to menopause. So when you've gone 12 months clear, and then that one day after the 12 months, then you're, okay, menopause. But then the next day, you're postmenopause. Yeah, so that's why I said you're only in menopause for one day, but really you're in menopause for a whole 12 months. You just don't know it, because you can't count it until you hit that one day afterwards. So then you're in perimenopause. So again, a lot of women think, okay, once I hit perimenopause, that's it, I'm done, scot-free, I'm through it. No, your symptoms can go on and on and on through postmenopause, sorry. Yes, they do ease off. Yes, they're not so bad. They do get better. In my experience mentoring women, their menopause symptoms get better as they get postmenopause. But usually if they've got like one or two that are really bad for them, and then the rest kind of disappear. And a lot of them that I've come across is low mood, depression, or headaches, and brain fog. Brain fog is a big one. Brain fog's one that I have to battle with. And I stopped drinking alcohol last New Year's Eve because I noticed as I got older, I mean, I was a party animal when I was younger. Obviously, as I had kids, that calmed down. As kids got older, I could drink a bit more because I didn't have to be quite as responsible. I was drinking with them. But I noticed as the years got on, my brain fog would just be even just one glass of wine. If I had one glass of wine on an evening, the next day I couldn't concentrate, couldn't focus. So this year I decided that's it, enough's enough. I've been talking about it for a long time. Let's just do it. So I gave in completely. Not everyone has to do that. Not everyone suffers with brain fog as much as I do. And, can drink moderately, which is fine. If you can drink moderately, then keep doing. But if it's affecting your brain fog, then I highly recommend you stop, because now it still comes if I'm not doing all the other things as well, but it's so much better since I stopped drinking alcohol. And I notice if I don't get a full 7 hours sleep, or if it's disturbed by a meowing cat, I have a cat that meows a lot, then the next day, again, harder to concentrate, harder to focus. So there's things I know now after all these years. I know what I need to do to get back on track. And with my brain fog, full night's sleep, eating clean, no alcohol are three big things that affect my brain fog. So you'll learn. So you're in a good place now, because there's lots of things as well. You lose your muscle mass. So with Charlotte's training for weight training, you're in the best possible place. And with her nutrition, she's going to teach you nutrition. It's going to help you enormously. And then mindfulness, self-care, all the things that I'm going to be training you over the months. If you put them all into place now, if you're pre-menopause, then you're going to thrive through it. Because lots of women get scared about, and they hear horror stories. So I don't want to frighten you when I say perimenopause can last up to 10 years. It's true, but we can do things. And I have a retreat, so you can see behind me, where I take my clients with me, and we have like 4 days of real self-care. They learn what to eat. They learn how to make quick nutritional meals that are going to help them, that they can prepare quickly. I teach them how to relax, because believe me, lots of people don't know how to relax. They have massages, they have facials, because now's the time to treat yourself to things like that. Schedule time in your diary to look after yourself, because if you're not looking after yourself, then you can't look after your family. And your family, us women, we spin all the plates, don't we? We have families to look after, business to run, jobs to do. So we need to look after ourselves. And when we look after ourselves, life is easier, life runs smoother. So if any of you ladies want to come on my retreat and learn how to look after yourselves and how to thrive in menopause, please just let me know and I'll book you in the next one. But that's what it is. It's the knowledge. It's knowing what you can do, because there are tools available. So one of my clients, for example, she said her worst thing was weight gain. So she's like, I know it's through menopause. I know it happened when I hit menopause, and that she just wanted to focus on her menopause, on her weight. So I said to her, what other symptoms do you get? And she listed off these other symptoms. And one of the symptoms was that she wasn't sleeping at night. And then we had to go, well, why aren't you sleeping at night? What's happening? I said, well, I'm getting up to pee in the night. So she was getting up to pee, which was disturbing her sleep. And then her brain started ticking over, and she couldn't fall back to sleep. So when she was up in the morning, she was really tired. So when she's really tired, what do you do when you're really tired? You grab comfort food to make you feel better, to get you through the day. You drink too much coffee because you think it's going to wake you up. You eat sweet things. And there we go, the vicious circle. So we need to take a holistical look. And I said to her, well, we're not going to focus on your weight gain now. Top of the list, we need to focus on your sleep. We need to develop a routine, a go-to-bed routine we need to get you hydrated, because she wasn't hydrating during the day. She was drinking lots of cups of tea right up until bedtime. So therefore it was waking her up to go to the bed, to go to the toilet, not to go to the bed. So we worked on her hydration during the day. I said to her, as long as you're hydrated throughout the day, you don't need to drink anything an hour before, even up to 2 hours before you go to bed. As long as you're well hydrated, you shouldn't need to. She started sleeping through the night, not getting up to go to the toilet. And then the few times that she did wake up, I gave her a meditation. Sorry, I should have switched my notifications off before I started. A meditation to listen to. So if she did wake up, she'd put it on before she went to bed, and she had a bath before she went to bed, stopped looking at her screens an hour before bedtime. She developed this bedtime routine, and now she sleeps like a baby. So now she's got enough energy to work out. Now she's got enough energy to plan her meals and to cook healthy meals. I gave her some quick recipes that she could do quickly, because she's a busy businesswoman. And then her weight started to come off. She started to do all the things. But that's what I see. You've got to look at your symptoms, and you've got to battle them in order, have the tools to do them. Otherwise, you just go around in circles like this. So you're in the perfect place to get to grips with all that before you hit perimenopause. And if you're already in perimenopause, now you're like, yeah, brilliant, I'm in perimenopause, let's start doing these things. If you're already in menopause and still having symptoms, let's do it. And if you're in postmenopause and you've got 1 or 2 symptoms that are niggling, like me, my brain fog, let's figure out what it is and what we need to do. So that's why I'm going to be here. That's why I'm going to help you. I think what we can do below this video, I'll ask Charlotte to put, or maybe in the files or something. Anyway, I'll ask her to put the trackers in. You can ask questions below the video and I'll come in and answer them. And yeah, let's thrive in menopause together. I'll answer my notifications. Thanks for having me, and look forward to getting to know you all. Take care. Bye.